I'm Dick Penny. I'm Managing Director of Watershed in Bristol, and we're an organisation that engages in ideas and talents. Most creative industries are driven by, I've got an idea, I think it's a brilliant idea, and I want everyone else to agree it's a brilliant idea. Well, it might be a brilliant idea and it might be the wrong time. It might be a brilliant idea, but you're in the wrong medium. It might actually be a crap idea. The reasons that the market doesn't pick up on your idea at the moment when you're pitching it are really, really complex. And I think all you can do is be realistic, listen to the feedback and decide what you are going to do. If you chase the market, you probably won't have an original creative idea, and then you won't get any long-term traction. So I'd say you've got to believe your own idea, but you've got to trust other people. And even if they don't like what you're presenting, and you still do, at least listen to why they don't like it, and then don't be surprised next time when you pitch it and they still don't like it.
I'm Paul Brett, and I'm a co-founder of Prescient. We're 9 years old as a company, and we've invested in about 33 films. The issue with rejection, you know already, I'm going to bring it back to personal relationships. And the classic line when ending a relationship is, it's not you, it's me. Well, in fact, the classic point about this with rejecting project is I have to be absolutely crystal clear. It's not me, it's you. And that is, you have to work on this or make the decision to move on. There's nothing I could do for you. You can't just blame me because I've turned it down.
I'm Mandy Coombs and I'm Head of Operations at Red Bee's Creative Division, and what we do is promotion and branding for media brands. Coping with the ups and downs of winning and losing projects is really difficult, and I think that's probably one of the most challenging things for everyone. We find that the balance between staff and freelance contributors is what helps us through that. But in the end, you can't truly predict how many pitches you're going to win or lose in any given period of time.
I'm Charles Hunter, I'm Managing Director of the Mudlark Production Company. We call ourselves Mudlark. And we're a digital production company. That's the easiest way of describing us. When you're in largely a pitching environment, you will get your fair share of rejections. In fact, you'll see it as your unfair share of rejections.
A lot of people will want me and say, well, I know it's not ready, but I'd like your feedback, I'd like your input, because they know I've got it. But if I do that with everyone, then it really becomes far too much. It's very tempting, you want to help. And so, because I'm saying no the vast majority of the time, I have to find polite and indeed humorous ways to do it.
Part of it's actually apportioning the time and the resources for the pitch itself and not putting everything into it. I'd be disappointed if someone who'd led a pitch that has been rejected wasn't reasonably disappointed and had a little of a mini rant immediately on learning of the rejection. But I'd also be disappointed if they didn't eventually get back to work, hopefully on other projects that we're doing. But the next most important thing is working out why you didn't get the pitch. And we now see failed pitches as really useful learning experiences.
My name is Steve Carsey. I'm the Director of Television and Online for Sassy Films. In that capacity, I oversee the development and creative strategy for all our broadcast operations across traditional TV and online platforms. I can only talk personally about how I deal with rejection, and to be honest, I've been doing this long enough now to know that more often than not it will be a rejection, more often than not it will be a no. If you're lucky, it's a maybe. How you though motivate your own team and the people who are working around you, how you kind of stop them being disillusioned, is for me really about giving them the benefit of your own experience, letting them know that it is par for the course, that this is the way the world works, particularly our world, and not to take it personally, and to remind them that if you think it's a good idea, it was a good idea, but perhaps circumstances outside of your control were a factor. It could be luck, it could be timing, it could be all sorts of factors that you have no control over.
I'm Maureen Walker, and I'm a partner with Paul Taylor in our company Big Deal Creative. And Big Deal Creative is a business affairs and commercial consultancy that supports television production. One thing that I think is very important is the independent production companies get used to rejection And I've seen it happen where a certain product that becomes the main breadwinner for you is no longer fashionable, and it's perhaps too late then to think about diversification. When you have something that's successful, I think it's really important, while it's successful, to still continue to invest in new development.
In terms of rejection, you've got to realise that, you know, it's all a matter of taste and some people will not like it. But if you're getting continued rejection, then reassemble and look at it again, or take a fresh look at the project and see if it needs to be reconfigured, like a Rubik's Cube, or just put it to sleep, or even just put it into a back burner so you can come back to it at another time.
Most good ideas are worth revisiting from time to time. So just because it didn't work then doesn't mean you can't revisit it and try it again down the line.
I've seen production companies who have a reliance on certain broadcasters, and then they feel very bitter when that broadcaster doesn't seem to be embracing their idea any longer. I think it's really careful to keep up to speed with what the broadcasters want, so that you're spending your development money wisely and you don't feel resentful and rejected, and you can bounce back healthily.
It's a bit of a cliche, but we live in an industry which is very much a professional merry-go-round, and commissioning editors and channel controllers are changing all the time. So you can very often revisit ideas and revisit opportunities a year or two down the line, which always gives you faith that, you know, you should keep those ideas, keep reminding yourself of what's in the filing cabinet, and keep returning to it every so often.
The key thing is it's got to be the right idea, the right time, the right place, and you've really got to think about all those factors. And sometimes an idea from 10 years ago, reprocessed, is the right idea. But if you're not bumping into dead ends, you're not really trying. You know, you've got to keep pushing. Very few people have one idea that works. And I think we've all got to be, you know, constantly exploring, constantly expecting to get tripped up, look at why we've been tripped up, backtrack, start again, refocus. But, you know, don't throw the ideas away. You never know, through collaboration, they could be reprocessed and repurposed, and your idea might actually help someone else's idea move forward.